Welcome to Wonderland, Sweden. My name's Rebecca and I create educational tools with the help of my XTool P2 and Creative Space. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe to my channel. Okay, let's begin. Welcome to Creative Space, the beta 2.0 version from XTool. So basically today I'm going to reuse an old file that I created for That's Not My shape finders, and I'm going to create some vehicles with it. So I'm going to show you all of the steps that I do and some little tricks and little shortcuts of how to use the new Creative Space. So I'm going to open up the old file, so File and Open Project. It's important to use good names so you can find your files later. And as you can see, recovered, when it crashes, it recovers it and saves it, which is good. The new version takes a long time to load stuff. It looked like it was not full screen, but it was. Yeah, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to save it as a new file with a new name. Totally save it the wrong name because I was going to do nature, but I ended up doing vehicles. Yeah, so basically we don't want the shapes anymore. So what we're going to do is going to delete the shapes, and as you can see, they're grouped. So what you can do is you can ungroup them, but now with the new version of Creative Space, you can actually highlight them all and ungroup them. So by pressing Ctrl and A and press on ungroup. On the old Creative Space, then you had to group them and then ungroup them. Is the quickest way to ungroup large amounts of items. So I'm deleting the shapes, so I don't want shapes. I'm going to use vehicles this time. So basically I'm going to do 5. So basically this is a working canvas at the moment. So this is what I used to do my lasering. So they're not going to be circles anymore. So I'm going to choose 5 different vehicles. Problem is to try and find vehicles that you can cut without compromising on the strength of the board. You'll see in a minute what I mean. Sometimes the outline means that it's not clear what it is that you're trying to make a shape for. I find it quite tricky with the new beta version to look at the text to see where it is I'm editing. So you can see I could click quite a few times and trying to find where it is that it's, yeah, there you go, where it's going to edit. So I'm going to choose a car, a motorbike, a lorry, aeroplane, and bicycle. Save, save, save. That's the best tip. Save it on your cloud, save it on your desktop, save it everywhere. Yeah. So there are some basic shapes available in here. So just to show you, so what I would do, so I want this as an outline. That wouldn't work as a cut file. Well, it would, but it would be unnecessary to do all those extra lines. It would be a bit dangerous as well. So basically I would do an outline, but I'm not happy with the shape. So I finally purchased Canva, and it's the best thing in the world ever to create stuff for SVGs, outlines, real pictures, AI, everything possible. So Canva, logged in already. So I just do create a design, and I normally just choose a square one just because it's easier to work with. It doesn't really matter about the quality. And you click on elements and then you choose your element. So aeroplane, I write it in English, British English, and I want to put an outline. Okay, so I think that this will work well when I do the outline in Creative Space. Yep. Perfect. That's as simple as it is. So you just press on share download, and I want it as an SVG for the easiest way to edit it. So download, and then it goes straight into my download folder on Windows. So there's nothing more I need to do than that. I always use the same canvas. I don't save them in between because it takes 2 seconds to do, so I've got nothing to lose if I want to do it again. So this car I'm happy with. That'll look good as an outline. It'll look like a car, very clean lines. So just download that. It saves the same settings every time if you choose to click on that. Lorry, as you see, I forgot to put the word outline, but it would still work with the picture anyway. And importing that into Creative Space. So I want to make sure that it looks okay for when I cut it, the outline. So save. So just repeat the process for all of the different vehicles. Really doesn't take any time at all on Canva. Bicycle, really not sure. This frame is quite thin, but that doesn't make any difference. That's only good. But you'll see when the outline is made that it's not clear what it is. Motorbike. I really like this one. So which one will look clear? So even though that this has got loads of fancy detail, it won't matter because I'll be making an outline. So it's not like it's going to cut out those circles. Don't need to worry about that. So what you can do is you can press on File and Import Image. And then go into Downloads. Unfortunately, you can't click on more than one at a time. It's only one at a time. So you have to import them individually. So start number 7. Because you can see that that's 3 pots to that picture. That's 1. That's 1. I don't really need it to be big, so it doesn't really matter. Just fit it. So you can see this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different parts. So I'll put that there. So what we're doing is an outline. So I just choose 2 just because I think it looks good. So move it out the way. That's perfect. It's a lot better than the original one I did. So another outline. And you can see it's just the outline. The windows are not included. Because if the windows were included, they'd just cut out. And it wouldn't make any difference. It would just be a waste of time and waste of materials. Bicycle. So as you can see, yeah, you can tell it's a bike, but it's very thin and not really super happy with that. Motorbike outline 2mm. Okay. Bicycle I didn't like, so what other vehicle can I do? Let's have a look at the digger. Yeah, so download it in the same way. Goes into your download folder. And then press on the plus for the image. Let's have a look at the outline. So as you can see, there's still, because there's more than one vector, it includes the middle. So what I normally do is I do OK, and then I have that. And then what I do again is I do another outline, Yeah, you can see these are all different parts. I could manipulate it, but it takes too long. So I just basically go on to outline, do another outline, and then you can see that there's no extra details in the middle, so it'll be a clean cut all the way around as the outline. So then I have my 5 vehicles. I can do a minus as well for the outline. So the one that moves away is the new one, the smaller one. Okay, in the new update, I noticed that the one I moved away isn't the actual new outline. It's actually the original. So I was a little bit quick in moving that and didn't realize. That's something you need to be wary of because it's different to the original Creative Space. But as you can see, it's not going to work because the space between the scoop and the band is too small. So the shape's not going to be strong enough to use it with small children. So save. Saving succeeded. It's good to get some feedback that it succeeded. So I'm going to change the names now. That's not my digger for the digger. Make sure it's locked on aspect ratio. So 135 because it's 145 the width. But you can see that there's going to be no strength when I cut that out. I need at least 15 millimeters on either side. So 100. So keep them all around the same size. 100 with this one. Of course, if you choose 100, it won't actually be 100 because it's diagonal. So you can see now that that is too weak there. So what I can do is do an outline. So I want to make it as small as possible, the outline, so it still keeps the shape. As you can see, there's still small details there in the middle there next to the wheel. So 1.4, that's the smallest I can go. And then I won't lose any detail. So it's gone bigger because of the outline. So make that smaller again to 100. See, might be 100, but it's diagonal, so it doesn't actually fit. So try 80. So everything's a lot of trial and error. Just try, test. What's the worst that can happen? So zoom in. Okay, so what we're going to do is center them, horizontal align center. So the text, the car, and then the text at the bottom centers. So you can see it move a tiny little bit because I've changed the top text and the picture. So center that to the right. There you go. Oh, look, a digger's not going to work. So we need to go back to the drawing board. So I look to see if there are any diggers. Where the scoop is not as close to the frame, there's nothing really that's any good. So I need to think what I can do. That one at the right is okay, but it's not really the shape of that I'm looking for. Maybe the word excavate will help. comes up with very similar. So that's the one we started with. So what we can do is edit the vector, because it's a vector, so it's SVG. So we're going to choose all of the vehicles by clicking on Shift and then right, and then changing them to the red layer. So then we know that the cut files, and then you can see that the text here is a little bit too close to the edges, so I want to make it smaller. A good update on the new Creative Space beta version was that you can change all of the text at the same time to the same size. Couldn't do that before. So I want to change it from 69 to 65. So you can see it's a lot better. So then I need to align everything in the middle again because it's obviously changed size. So then it'll be not centered anymore. So I like to center things all the time. Even if you do it like more than once in the middle of a process, it's still good to do it just to see how it's going to look. So as you can see, the texting is -2, so that's the distance between the two different sentences at the top. And then at the bottom is 0 for the spacing. The text at the top is wider, but I don't think it looks as good. So what I do is a little bit in between. So I highlight all of them, and then like I said, they can do it all at once. So I choose 0.9. And it's too wide, so do 0.5. So you can see it all changed at the same time. Then obviously it's not in the middle again. So just horizontal align center for the text at the bottom. So we're getting there slowly. So as you can see, my digger is still causing problems. So I've imported the original thing again, just to see what I can do, make some changes to it. So I'm going to do something I've never done before, which is edit the nodes within the software. Yeah, so it's a little bit of trial and error. And click on edit nodes so you can see all the different nodes. So you can move the nodes individually, or you can highlight a whole group and move them. So when it turns into the cross, then it moves all of them. But I managed to select one on the right that I didn't see. It's a bit difficult to see which ones are highlighted. So I'm going to try and see if I can highlight the nodes just on the scoop. Not as easy as it looks, as they're overlapping if you make a square. So try again, edit nodes. So it's all of these on the scoop that I want to highlight. I think I've got all of them this time without any extra ones on the right hand side. So when it turns into that cross, then I can move all of the highlighted nodes at the same time. Okay, so that would work. So I can move it up. you can still see that the gap in between the scoop and the band is quite small, and that's basically what I want to avoid. It's a little bit better, but it's still quite weak in between. So I want to go back, try again, edit the node, highlight the scoop, only the scoop, and move it up. You can see I can detach it, but it's still attached. So put it up there. So I plan to make an outline of this. So it really doesn't matter the fact that the nodes are crossing over. They will disappear once I've done my outline, as you can see. So there you go. You've got a scoop that still looks like a digger that looks like a digger. And there's no like 1 millimeter gap in between. So I'll make it the same size as the other ones. Put it into the middle. I want to center it. Put it on red for cut. Center it horizontally. As you can see, it's crossing over the Y in mine. So I do actually need to move it down a little bit. So I'll move that with the cursor keys. You can change the y-axis. You can see when I move it with the cursor keys, it goes from 200 to 203. Save it. What I do is normally just highlight them all and put them all on output, and then put on output for that one. So you can do a preview. So now with the new XTool, you can see what trajectory it's going to take. Basically, we need to set the settings now. So pine, plywood. So I always go a little bit harder than the recommended settings with the power. Usually keep the same speed. Red, try to avoid using 100%, but it's always cut. Even if it recommends 100, I always use 80-15, and then I get a clean cut with my super duper high quality Scandinavian birch plywood 3mm. The hole is still the same, 4x4mm. That's for a leather strap. Basically save it. Process, let's see now that we've got the right settings, see how long it'll take. 28 minutes, that's not too bad. I know it's not going to take 28 minutes with warped wood and things like that, but yeah. So basically now you can choose to see if Betsy will decide which way she goes herself, or we can tell her which way to go. So you can tell, even if you were going to do it by layer, with my settings, then it would actually take the same time. If you do it all together, then you can see it'll actually take longer. So it'll have further to move. So we'll go back to auto planning, so that's the quickest, most efficient way to move. And I make sure that I don't waste any space. Of course, I'm going to move these around before I press on process. And thanks for watching. I really enjoy using the new Creative Space. Please don't hesitate to ask me any questions or comments, or leave me any inquiries or any videos that you'd like me to make. I like doing this. Thank you.